Hello and welcome to Reality TV News Update, where you'll find the most recent news, entertaining moments, and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. Rochester and Monroe County will soon receive new blue light cameras, drones, and other crime-fighting surveillance technology. Gov. Kathy Hochul has been touring local police departments over the past few weeks to emphasize the $127 million investment in law enforcement technology that was announced last year. Monroe County police agencies received $24 million total, the largest share of any county across the state. "There's no talk of ever defunding law enforcement under my watch," Hochul said at a news conference in Rochester, October 24th. The governor visited the Rochester Police Department for a demonstration of how the city's blue light camera system works. The surveillance cameras, which are easily recognizable by their blinking blue light and mounted on various light posts, are used by police to keep an eye on city streets and respond quickly to 911 calls. How does Rochester's blue light camera system work? The system, which was initially installed in 2005, will be updated with the assistance of $8 million from RPD's $10 million grant. "I just had a tour where they're monitoring over 150 cameras and watched a crime that was committed just yesterday, the theft of a handbag," Hochul said. "You could see the individuals, but it was kind of grainy and it wasn't great. It turned out this technology is from 2005. Therefore, you were ahead of your time 20 years ago. But time has passed." Captain RPD, according to Greg Bello, many of the cameras produce hazy images with cloudy edges, lowering the quality of the data officers receive. Others, while effective in real time, police officials can zoom in on the cameras to read license plate numbers or capture a suspect's description, lose that information when the video is replayed from a recording. Bell stated that the RPD is in the process of finalizing a contract with a vendor and anticipates replacing cameras in the next 6 months, despite the fact that the project will take several years to complete. With a significant technology grant, Rochester Police will upgrade their surveillance system. A portion of the funds will also be used by the police department to acquire additional drones. RPD uses drones primarily for search and rescue missions and crowd control at festivals or protests. While Bello acknowledged privacy and free speech concerns around the use of drones at protests, he argued the surveillance keeps both police and protesters safer. "One of the problems, though, that we have to face is that when we put officers physically out there, they become the target oftentimes. That only serves to agitate the crowds and also puts our officers in jeopardy. Therefore, you rarely see us at protests. Drones let us stay away and let the protesters do their thing without creating a confrontational atmosphere. However, we can also monitor in the event that things become violent or there is damage to property. It's beneficial to everyone." RPD tested a drone as a first responder program earlier this year, but Bello said the drones purchased with the state grant would not be integrated into that system if RPD decides to move forward with the program. Hochul behind explosion of police surveillance technology in NY. In a short amount of time, Hochul's investment has significantly increased police surveillance power. By the time the funding was distributed, Hochul's initial pledge of $20 million had increased by more than 6 times, according to a review of the law enforcement technology grants conducted by the Democrat in Chronicle. It is unclear how police departments justified funding requests. Applications reviewed by the DNC asked just 2 questions about technology requests. Several agencies responded in 300 words or less. You can see what surveillance technology your local police agency plans to purchase with the funding here. Governor Kathy Hochul of New York is reiterating a futuristic and contentious plan for public safety. In her latest budget announcement, she unveiled a $127 million investment in police technology, a sweeping initiative that includes drones, body cameras, AI surveillance tools, license plate readers, and even blue light emergency networks designed to give residents direct access to help. However, the plan is igniting a heated debate about privacy, oversight, and the role of technology in law enforcement as it gains traction. Critics warn it could usher in a new era of government surveillance, while supporters argue it's a long overdue modernization of public safety. The blueprint for a smart safety state. Hochul's initiative, dubbed the Smart Safety Infrastructure Plan, will funnel millions into equipping local police departments with cutting-edge tools meant to make response times faster and crime prevention more precise. New Yorkers deserve to feel safe, Hochul said during a press conference in Albany. This is not about militarizing law enforcement, it is about modernizing it. The following are included in the proposal: $35 million for drones and real-time situational awareness systems, allowing police to monitor large public events and track emergencies from above. $40 million for license plate readers and AI-assisted video analytics that can immediately identify stolen cars, wanted individuals, and unusual behavior in public areas. $25 million for body-worn camera expansion, ensuring every officer in the state has one. $15 million for tall poles with flashing lights and cameras that connect directly to local police when activated for blue light emergency networks on campuses and in downtown areas. The remaining $12 million will fund cybersecurity improvements and data sharing systems across agencies. To Hochul, this investment is a natural evolution of community safety. We can't fight 21st century crime with 20th century tools, she said. The surveillance state is criticized. Privacy advocates, however, see it differently. Donna Lieberman, the executive director of the New York Civil Liberties Union, NYCLU, issued the following warning. Governor Hochul is building an infrastructure of surveillance that could easily outlast her administration and outlive its intended use. You're fundamentally changing what it means to live freely once you normalize drones and AI monitoring in public spaces. Lieberman and others point to the NYPD's controversial use of drones at parades, protests, and even backyard gatherings, instances where privacy concerns have already drawn public scrutiny. The worry is that smaller police departments across the state will adopt similar tactics without adequate oversight or transparency. Additionally, organizations like the Surveillance Technology Oversight Project, STOP, contend that AI-driven systems, such as algorithms for predictive policing and facial recognition, have a track record of error and bias. The executive director of STOP, Albert Fox-Kahn, stated, "We've seen over and over again that these tools target Black and brown communities disproportionately. Under the guise of safety, the governor's plan could deepen systemic inequities." Police departments welcome the move. Leaders in law enforcement, on the other hand, are generally enthusiastic. According to Albany Police Department Chief Dennis O'Reilly, technology saves lives, plain and simple. When you have drones monitoring a crowd, you can spot a fight, a fire, or a missing child in seconds. We've never been able to do that before. Departments across upstate New York, especially in smaller or rural areas, have long complained that they lag behind big cities in access to modern policing tools. Hochul's funding could change that. Sheriff Lisa Andrews of Monroe County stated, "This gives us a playing field. It's not about spying, it's about being ready. We have fewer officers per capita than most counties. Drones and cameras help fill the gaps." For many communities, the Blue Light Emergency Network is also seen as a welcome safety net, particularly on college campuses and in high-traffic public spaces. Hochul's office says the network could cut emergency response times by up to 40% once fully implemented. A balancing act between security and liberty. The governor insists her plan includes strong privacy safeguards. The new transparency rules she proposes require departments to publicly disclose the technologies they use, data storage methods, and access rights. "We're not creating a surveillance state," Hochul said, "we're creating accountability and precision." Civil rights organizations remain skeptical nonetheless. They're calling for legislation that would go beyond voluntary disclosure, such as independent audits and mandatory community oversight boards to review how surveillance tools are deployed.
History shows that technology, once introduced, rarely stays confined to its original purpose, said NYCLU's Vieberman. The public deserves a seat at the table before their every move is tracked. The national context. New York isn't alone in its tech-forward approach to policing. Across the U.S., states are turning to drones, AI, and predictive software to fight crime. From California's real-time crime centers to Florida's facial recognition networks. But experts caution that the rapid adoption of these tools often outpaces the creation of guardrails. A recent Georgetown law study found that fewer than half of U.S. jurisdictions using AI in policing had clear rules about data retention, sharing, or misuse. That's why New York's $127 million gamble is being watched closely nationwide, as a possible model or a cautionary tale.